Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Vision and Purpose Community Forum. And today it's all about the community. As we get ready for our primary elections, we have an distinct panel of people here today, and we are going to have such a great time. This is not a debate. This is a panel discussion. We want to get our viewers, our voters ready for the election. And when are they? Our election will be here in Prince George's County on July the 19th. Early voting starts July the 7th. The 7th through the 14th. And we need you to go out and vote and be prepared. So today we are here to just bring you just great informative information. So we need you to be a part of this. Stay tuned, be with us, and we are going to get started right now. And we have such a lovely studio audience. Yay! Yes. So, and we're going to get started right away. Our distinct panel of people are here. We have people from the county council seat. We have state's attorney here. We have delegates in the house. We have lieutenant governor in the house. We have a controller that's waiting to get in. Yes, and also we have a candidate that's running for the sheriff office. So without further ado, we're going to start letting our panel introduce themselves. They have 2 minutes to tell who they are and the position that they are currently hold or running for. And so we're going to give them a chance to get started. How about that? Yay! And we're going to start with our council member at large, Calvin Hawkins, and we're going to work our way around. So you have 2 minutes. Tell us, who are you?
Hi, my name is Calvin Hawkins, and I serve as a county council member at large. I've been on the Prince George's County Council for the last 3.5 years, and I just want you to know, as a council member at large, I have the opportunity to work with 10 other council members as we deal with legislative policies as well as health policies, and we get a chance to deal with land use policies, and it's been a great experience working with the individuals I've worked with along with our state and federal partners. So thank you for the opportunity. Again, I'm Calvin Hawkins, and I'm running for re-election as the Prince George's County Council member at large.
Hello, everybody. My name is John Carr, and I'm running to be your next sheriff of Prince George's County. I'm currently, thank you. I'm currently a lieutenant colonel at the Office of the Sheriff. I am the bureau chief for our field operations. I'm a 20-year veteran of the agency. I oversee our warrants, child support, domestic violence, fugitive, civil, landlord-tenant units out that you see on the street. So the joke that I give some citizens is that anytime you see a sheriff vehicle, pretty much I oversee and supervise those individuals. I'm running on the platform, really focusing on mental health, eradicating domestic violence here in Prince George's County, and our community outreach, really wanting you to see the sheriff's office in a different light, focusing on our seniors and our youth. Also want to make sure that we really focus on our violent crimes here in the county. So that is my platform. And I look forward, and I thank you for having me here today.
Thank you so much. So good afternoon. My name is Jocelyn Pena Melnick, and I am actually running for re-election. I represent District 21, which are 2 counties, gorgeous Prince George's and gorgeous Anne Arundel County. I actually have been in the legislature for 16 years, and I am now have been appointed to be the chairman of the Health and Government Operations Committee for the House. Thank you. And before that, I was the vice chair of the committee and the chair of the Public Health Committee. So I have focused a lot on reducing the number of uninsured in the state of Maryland, and also on health disparities and the impact on the Black and brown communities. I introduced a bill that declare actually racism as a public health crisis in the state of Maryland, and it is the law, and it requires implicit bias training for all healthcare providers. I love to have your support, and thank you so much for having me.
Hello, everyone. I'm Aisha Braveboy, and I have the honor of serving as the state's attorney for Prince George's County. Thank you. Prior to my service as state's attorney, I was seatmates to this amazing delegate, and I served as a state delegate for 8 years and was honored to be selected as chair of the Legislative Black Caucus during that time. As state's attorney, I've worked hard to keep our community safe, as well as find ways to really balance and reform our justice system. And I do that in the courtrooms, as well as in Annapolis and in the community. And so we have, as an office, been able to bolster a over 90% conviction rate in all of our felony units, including a 98% conviction rate in our homicide unit. We have also worked really hard with the legislature to focus on domestic violence. And as a result of the strangulation legislation that was passed, as well as the strangulation protocol that my office put in place, as well as our high-risk, high-lethality protocol, intimate partner homicides have been reduced by 58% here in Prince George's County. But in addition to that, we work in Annapolis to pass laws like the Second Lieutenant Richard Collins III hate crime statute, which gave prosecutors more ability to prosecute and hold individuals accountable for hate crimes in our communities, as well as a bill that expanded the definition of first-degree child abuse so that we can hold abusers accountable. And then in the community, we have the Our Streets, Our Future initiative, which many of you have been a part of, and that is an anti-gun violence initiative. I also have a multicultural commission, which Remy Dooley, who is a candidate for delegate, is a member of, as well as the county's very first LGBTQIA+ task force, which really sends the message that everyone in our community deserve and will get justice. So thank you all so much for being here, and I look forward to the conversation.
And hello, I'm Monique Anderson Walker, born and raised right here in Maryland, raised in Oxon Hill, Temple Hills, Fort Washington, mother of 3 and a small business owner. Most recently, I served as a county council member representing the 8th District. That includes Joint Base Andrews all the way down to and including National Harbor. I am now running to be the next Lieutenant Governor of the state of Maryland on the Francho Anderson Walker ticket. I want to build upon some of the work that I was able to accomplish as a county council person. I was able to hit the ground running coming in there, focusing on everything from education to healthcare, because I believe that it's those 2 areas that are determinants of wealth building. As we know, Maryland is very affluent. We make a lot of money here, but we spend a lot of money here to live. We want something to pass down, and that's wealth. And that's what we're focused on. So Peter Francho and I have a platform that we're very excited about. I don't want to go too deep into that. I'll tell you a little bit about what I've accomplished, because that will indicate what I'm able to do. Many people will come in and tell you what they can do and have nothing to show that they've actually done anything. I've had the pleasure and the honor of representing during a pandemic and during sequestration, 2 of the hardest economic hits that people have taken, and successfully helped families through food insecurity, housing insecurity, economic recovery for their small businesses. And as a small business owner, I see things a little bit differently. So I definitely understand. Moving forward with some of the initiatives, our public safety initiatives like #driving at home for our roadway, pedestrian, and bicyclist safety, which I put into place, which was so popular it carried over into the region. That's something I want to carry on through the state. My prescription assistance program, which I put in place to help people who are underinsured, not insured, or just need co-payment assistance, so that they don't have to worry about the choice between getting their managing their chronic illnesses or buying food. They shouldn't have to make that decision. 2 others, I'm going to wrap it up and move on. In fact, I'm going to wrap it up now because I don't want to be rude. But there are others. I'm just very interested in scaling this to the state level. I'm able to hit the ground running, very excited to and looking forward to serving Maryland.
All right. Thank you so much to this panel. I am Jonathan Medlock. I am the former mayor of the city of District Heights. Thank you so much. There are so many people in this building that I know, Delegate Barnes and Chair Hawkins. You never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. And in this moment, I want to savor and say why I came on to the county council now, serving District 6, because I wanted to work alongside these individuals that I've known for quite a few years and continue to do the work that I've done as a mayor, as a county commissioner, and just as an activist organizing in the community, building with great leaders who have done the work and who continues to do the work. I stepped into this position about a little over a month in order to do the work that they knew I could do. And hopefully I've done the work and proven my mettle, chair, on the county council. District 6 represents District Heights, Capitol Heights, outer portions of Bowie, up in Marlboro, and the like, Largo here, and a few other areas, but it's a very strong district, and where District 6 leads is where Prince George's County would go. So it's very important that I'm in this position, doing the work alongside these great leaders. I want to continue to do the work and look forward to any questions you have for me about District 6 and Prince George's County. So thank you so much.
Well, I don't know where to start. Listen, for those that do not know me, my name is Delegate Darrell Barnes. I represent District 25 here in Prince George's County. I am currently the chairman of the Maryland largest Black caucus in the Union. And let me just say that the reason why I came is really to show true strength of collaboration. Because in my position, I have an opportunity to interact with all of these individuals. And all of these individuals on this platform bring a lot to the table for Prince George's County. My colleague Jocelyn Pena Melnick and I, we just brought back a record number of $2.5 billion to Prince George's County. And we could not have done that without the help and the collaborative effort of everyone on this stage, right? No one man or no one individual can do anything, that it takes a teamwork to get anything done. And as I'm sure you all will hear as we continue this conversation, it's really not about us individually, because I believe all of us on this platform are humble individuals, and they will be able to speak about what we have done as a team. Right? So when you start talking about running for office and being in this position, it's really, for me, can we work together? Right? Because I think if we can work together, then there's a lot more that we can get accomplished. And I think that's where we are right now. I think everyone on this platform brings a lot to the table. They're all smart. They have the education and background. But can we work together is really the conversation for me. And I'm going to wrap up. But I really want to pay homage to Calvin Hawkins because I think it's critically important that we understand the people in the room. And it's not by happenstance that this young man was elected twice as chairman of the county council. It's because of his leadership and fortitude in understanding the county. But more importantly, it's understanding the state legislature, because it's up to us to bring back the money and the resources so he can do his thing at the county level. Come on now, I think you all need to understand that. And, so I just wanted to say that because I think it's important that you understand everyone here. And I can't wait for further conversations and questions because there's a lot more I'd like to say.
Why, thank you, Mr. Chairman. For those who don't know, I'm Mayor Tim Adams, and I'm running for comptroller for the state of Maryland. I'll start off by making sure I emphasize again what Delegate Barnes says, and that's it's not about the me, it's about the we. It's not about the I, it's about the us. And that's who we have to be right now. I too am honored to be sitting up here with these individuals because all of them have dedicated their lives to making our lives better. And understand they're part of the motivation that has me running for comptroller. And that's real. You know, I have to take a moment just to say, for those who don't understand the role of the comptroller is the chief fiscal officer for the state of Maryland. He's the watchdog. He's supposed to be making sure of where every dollar is being spent. You know, that Board of Public Works, which is so important. And for those who don't know, and I need to give a little history on that just so people understand. The Board of Public Works is comprised of the governor, the treasurer, and the comptroller. And the reality is in session, I think it's something like every 2 weeks, probably $500 million is awarded in bond bills and in contracts. But we need to make sure that we look and really hold people accountable as we move forward to what's going on. You see, I say it boldly and I say it with great pride because I sit up here with these individuals. I am the most qualified candidate for comptroller. And that's real. And I'm unapologetically black. You know, I make no excuses for that. You know, and I think when you look around here, you see black excellence. And you see what can happen when we really work together. So I look forward to this conversation. You know, I know how blessed I am. That one last thing is, for those who don't know, I started my business out of the trunk of my car. I was a young brother who didn't know he wasn't supposed to be able to do that. And just to close it out, because it's now one of the largest black-owned businesses in the entire nation. And it's people like those sitting up here who make that possible. And I give a great shout out to everybody up here, because I've had a chance to talk with, and many of you directly and indirectly work with, and we're blessed to have you. Thank you.
All right. Well, as you can see, this is going to be a great discussion. I'm like, don't give it all away. I need to ask some questions. So as you can see, this is going to be about family, about the community, and really just a great conversation, a great discussion. So I'm going to start it off, and I'm going to go to Calvin first, because when I'm out in the community, and believe it or not, we want to have this to be a safe haven space. So there's no wrong answers, there's no wrong questions. We just want to have the conversation so we can be better informed. A lot of times I hear, well, what's the difference between the county council at large and the county council? And what district do they represent? So to explain that the county council at large is an at-large seat for the whole county and is different from the district. So I like how you always say it's like having 3 to your district, because you got 2 at large and then 1 directly for your district. And can you explain how many district is it on a county council seat? No, I'm going to let you explain that.
Thank you very much. We have
Yes.
9 single-member councilmanic districts, 1 through 9, that represents the 499 square miles of Prince George's County. Your 2 at-large council members that were became available because of a referendum that the majority of the citizens supported. Councilmember Mel Franklin and I are the 2 that serve in those positions, and our role is, because in the single-member districts, you do a lot of parochialism because you're worried about your constituents. You're concerned more about what you have to do first and foremost for the constituents you represent in your district. And we understand that. For council members at large, we are those who are looking at the entire Prince George's County and how what we do legislatively impacts the citizens throughout the county. Sometimes, in most instances, we support the single-member district council member in his or her position. Sometimes, as council members at large, we have to exercise a vote against them because we don't believe that's in the best interest of the citizens, not just in that district, but throughout the county. And that's why I've been served twice as the chair, because the council members are starting to see that if we have someone that's dealing with the entire county, he or she will have a better perspective on where we need to go. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you so very much. And
And
because
that's why I work so hard in the county, and that's why you see me everywhere.
and you are everywhere you need to be. I will say that. And yes, I would definitely. I would go to John Carr, running for the sheriff. You already work in the sheriff department. Can you tell us exactly what role that you are in currently right now, and how would that help you to fulfill the race of now wanting to become the sheriff?
So currently, right now, I am the lieutenant colonel at the office of the sheriff, and like I said before, I supervise our Bureau of Field Operations. So that component of the agency basically service the citizens in our key components or key areas, such as, like I said, warrants, child support, domestic violence, our fugitive section, civil and landlord tenant. Me being and developing my skills and being mentored by former sheriffs will assist me and has assisted me in making sure that I'm able to meet the citizens' needs. I'm from the community, grew up here in Suitland, so went to University of Maryland and had my undergrad there. So I'm understanding of what the citizens and what the community needs. A lot of times people don't know what we do at the Office of the Sheriff. We have a state mandated function in which we are operating in Prince George's County, but we have the authority to go outside of Prince George's County and really outside of the state. So those key components, when you talk about domestic violence, we're seeing a spike in our numbers. We were averaging 2,000 peace and protective orders a month. And that's one of the things that if you don't have the partnerships or don't understand, from Annapolis and the people that you have here, or understand from the local standpoint, we're working with the police department or our municipal governments, then you will struggle. It is one of those areas that you need to grow and develop yourself in order to make sure that you're able to meet the citizens' needs.
Thank you. Thank you. And this is a county-wide race.
Yes, this is a county-wide race, so it doesn't make a difference of what district you may be in. It is from Eagle Harbor all the way up to the top of Laurel. So, we cover everybody. And most people don't know that, we cover Prince George's County with only 251 sworn as far as our complement. And that is a lot of territory to cover. So you must be able to work smart. You must be able to develop partnerships, and you must be able to understand exactly what the citizens need in order to make sure that you meet that demand.
I like to call her my firecracker of the delegate house. So, Delegate Jocelyn Pennant Malik, this is your district, District 21. If you can explain to us more about what that is. You not only cover a certain area of Prince George's County, your district also do around it. And that a lot of people don't even know. So, because we think it just only focus in the district in Prince George's County. So we do know that to every senator there is 3 delegates. So can you just explain just how your district work and how you have a piece of Arundel as well?
Thank you, and thank you for organizing this. It's really an honor to be with everyone, and thank you for making time to come today. So District 21 is Prince George's and Anne Arundel, so I represent College Park, Beltsville, Calverton, Laurel, then I go all the way to Anne Arundel, part of Gabriel's, Odenton. We used to have Piney Orchard as well. So it is 2 counties. We deal with 2 county executives, 2 school boards, right? Sheriff,
Wow.
everything twice, right? Board of Education. So it's important to have good relationships. I belong to 2 delegations. So on Friday, you have me running to Prince George's from Anne Arundel. We start at 8 o'clock, and we negotiated starting at 8 o'clock in the morning so that I can be fully and vote, because I don't like missing any votes. People that know me, I never do. Unless I'm very sick, which thank God is not often. So we vote in 2 delegations. So all the local bills that affect county council, right, that affect the sheriff, they come in front of us. So I get to vote in 2 delegations. It is really imperative to be very connected at the local government with our state's attorney, because we have 2 state's attorney, and the laws and the bills, like the strangulation bill that we work closely, that we're able to work with the local jurisdiction to see what are the needs, how can we be supportive. It is important to have a strong delegation and strong leadership, because the stronger you are, the more money, $2.5 billion, you can bring when we're all at the table and we work together. So we do a lot of that. No, not one delegate cannot do it all. You can have an idea, but it's your colleagues. You need 71 votes in the House to get a bill through, and you need 24 votes in the Senate to get a bill through. So both delegations have to work closely. So we just don't legislate. When I'm not legislating, I'm in the community doing the food distribution, delivering diapers, helping a child that needs help with their application to apply for college, helping someone with their unemployment that they have not received their money, helping someone find someone that accepts Medicaid or Medicare, which, you know, one is federal. I mean, you don't read about that, but that is the kind of work every delegate and every senator does. To do it right, it really takes the 7 days a week to do it, and to be present, not just when you run for office, to be there every single day. And I love it.
Yes, yes.
I feel
yes.
very blessed to serve. I do not take it for granted.
Yes. Thank
Me
you.
too.
Yes, yes. And I'm going to our state's attorney, Aisha Brayboy. I just say you are the most personable state's attorney that we ever had. Yes. You really are. You're just always in the community, and it just seems like it's as big as this county is, and we know it's very large. We at hitting 1 million now, and it just always, you are so approachable, you're so reachable, your office is just always there for us. But can you explain to us, our community, just as a state's attorney, what do that do, and do you work closely with the sheriff department, or how does that work? Because, you know, I get a lot of answers on Karen, do I go to the state department for this, or do I go to the sheriff department for that? So can you just give us more clarity, please?
Absolutely. Well, we wear many hats. My office is the top law enforcement office in the county, which really means the buck stops with us when it comes to charging and holding individuals accountable. However, it does not start with us. So if there is a crime that is committed, it's typically the police department, whether it is the Prince George's County Police Department or one of our municipal policing agencies, that does the investigation. Now, our sheriff's department also investigates and makes arrests for DV calls in the 3rd and 8th divisions. I think they're called police divisions now. So they are the first responders there. They will write the report, they will do the investigation, and then they will bring their cases to our office to screen. So we screen the cases and determine which cases we can move forward with and which cases we're not able to move forward with. But we have a very close relationship. I can tell you, I mean, I unequivocally am supporting John Carr for sheriff. I can tell you that when I call on him, because oftentimes when we have domestic violence cases, especially when someone has violated a protective order, and they're feeling the most vulnerable, when someone's violated an order of the court that says stay away, and they are not staying away, that can be very intimidating. And I can call on John to make sure that that individual is arrested that day, because a day matters to a victim. A day matters to a victim.
Amen.
So we work very, very closely with our law enforcement partners, and then we pursue those cases in the courts to hold individuals accountable. But we also, in addition to holding people accountable, because we have to administer justice in a way that is fair, often we do prosecute, but we also have diversion programs. We also have reentry opportunities. And so we have a restorative office, and I really want to personally thank Chairman Delegate Ben Barnes for seeing our vision of creating an emerging adult program which assists individuals who have made mistakes. They are serving their time, but at some point they're going to come back into our community, and we want to make sure that they're whole and ready to go to work. And it was my vision to start this program. We had a pilot last year, which we had about 10 individuals in this year because of the assistance from the state, and thank you again for your work in getting us a grant. We are going to be able to have for $300,000. Sorry about that.
That's right, Daryl. That's big.
Oh, did I say Ben? Oh, I apologize.
Daryl.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
yes.
Please forgive me, Oh, I thought I said chairman. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I apologize.
We know you're talking about.
Daryl Barnes, although Ben did a little assist because he's on appropriations, but Delegate Daryl Barnes saw the vision, and now we're able to serve about 35 individuals this year, and we look forward to continuing to grow it every single year because there are people who are young. They're 18 through 26. They are legally adults because you become an adult at 18, but biologically, physiologically, and every other way, they are still technically, scientifically, they are considered adolescents, which means, yes, we have to hold them accountable, but then there's so much opportunity for them to grow and become very different people, and we've seen that through this program. So thank you so much, Mr. Chair, for helping us to expand that program. Thank you.
Yes. And also, we're going to add that is a county-wide race that you are, the state's attorney is a
Yes.
county-wide race.
Yes.
Yes. And so we need to know this, everyone. So you don't have to be in a certain district for this one, okay? All right. Everybody can vote for this one, okay? Yes. And this is unique. I've been waiting a long time to ask this question since I'd heard that the announcement that Monique Anderson is on the card for Lieutenant Governor. And just a trailblazer, coming in at the county seat, county council seat for District 8, and now being able to be on a ticket as Lieutenant Governor. So how is your road from the county council? Because one of the things like you said, we know you was big on the drunk driving and the traffic. How with that, and how is it different, and how well it blends? Because two things can blend. Your road that you did at the county council, how would you bring that to the lieutenant governor, and what is expected of a lieutenant governor?
Well, that's a great question. I'm going to have to say that this has been the most unusual path. Many people know I'm a business person. I'm 51 years old. I ran for office the first time 4 years ago. I'm not a career politician. But I ran because I'm from here and I wanted to see improvement. I won, and got busy. I didn't coast. I got in, and in 3 years, got a lot of initiatives in place and did that while helping families who were in dire situations. We talked about sequestration. We talked about the pandemic. Those were immediate. We jumped in day one. We had to deal with these issues, quite frankly, in addition to opportunities in our area, like Amazon coming into the region. No one had seen that coming. So it was really a pivot to, hey, put me on transportation planning board, please, because I have some ideas. We got to have connectivity so that we can benefit from Northern Virginia getting Amazon as their headquarters site. It means it can't help us if we don't have a way to transfer people. So getting transit in place, bus rapid transit. And the reason I bring this up is because all these things, all these experiences that were just hyper intense have really helped to shape looking at on a state level the opportunity. To answer the second question, which was what does a lieutenant governor do? The Constitution actually says in Maryland that the lieutenant governor only does what the governor allows them to do. Mm-hmm. So the question really, when Peter came to me, was why would I leave a position of power to go to a position of ceremony? I'm not interested in that. And then the discussion was, look, I jumped into this to be impactful. And anything I do, I want to have power to be impactful. not to sit on the sidelines. I'm not interested in a title. So Peter's response, I mean, we talked over months, but he said, oh, I'm so glad to hear that. He said, because I want a partner. He said, I want a co-governor. And he said, I want a succession plan. And I see, if something happened to me, you could be the governor. And I said, I like the way you think. You know, first of all, to have a strong personality can be intimidating to some people. But when they are seeking that, when they seek strength, that tells me a lot about who I'm wanting to partner with. And I said, you're the one. And I'm going to tell you, other campaigns did reach out to me. But he was the one. And I think I answered your question.
Yes.
I'm sure there are other questions, so we'll move on. But thank you.
Yes, no, thank you. And also, you can clap, yes, yes. And this is a statewide race for the state of Maryland. And I like the fact that she said strong personality, because all three of the women that's sitting up there is strong personalities. That's why I call Johnson my firecracker, you know. And I'm telling you, this is just great. And to have women in position, because we know we need more women in positions. As the voting go, more women turn out to vote than men. That's just a known factor, you know, 65%. But we are going to vote to get these women elected and re-elected, right? Yes, 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 yes. And Jonathan, I would do that right before asking you a question,
right before asking me the question, I'll tell you. Get him out.
Look, see, and I had to do that because, see, if I would have did it after that, Daryl would have been ready for me. So I'm glad I did it with you. But no, a good question that the community want to know, and we have for you, Jonathan, that we think is very honorable of you to put your hat in to say, hey, let me just apply to see if I can be the one that be appointed in this position in District 6 for County Council until the election time. So we want to know why. Why did you make that choice to do that? And what is your plans after the election for Jonathan?
That is a great question. So many people ask me this all the time and ask, why did I give up so much, right? Worked with the DOD for 29 years, was the mayor of the city of District Heights, on the board of the Revenue Authority, on and on. But why did you step down to do this particular job? And I said to them, and I say to them often, that in order for democracy to work, you have to work on democracy. You have to work in this and do the work. So I decided to make that decision for myself. This is something that I wanted to do. When people ask again, I'm built for this. I'm built for service. I'm built for collaboration. I'm built for making the moves and the correct moves in our community to get things to happen and move forward. I'm here because the county council believed in me enough to say that we want this young man here to do this job at this particular point in time. District 6 has a myriad of qualified candidates in this election coming in. They will do a great job. We all know by July 19th how this will all pan out. But I wanted to come in and step in now to keep the government moving, keep Prince George's County moving forward. All the stuff that I, quote unquote, gave up was not giving up. This, whatever I did, is propelling me for that next chapter. And what is that next chapter for me? Who knows? But as we keep building, that will keep coming into fruition. So I'm building on that now. But first, I want to do the work. Do the work that the county council actually brought me on here to do, and the county, Prince George's, knew that I could do. So I'm ready just to continue to do the work, and whatever happens will come into fruition very, very soon.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Barnes, you are big on collaboration. I call you the Mr. Collaboration man himself. When I met you, you had a nonprofit organization, Men Aim Higher. And even with then, I just remember my very first meeting that you was big on collaboration. You was having this big event where you was collaborating, and you was planning this big Thanksgiving drive. You wanted to make sure that you feed 400 families at that time. And now you up to your Thanksgiving drive is over 1,500 people in Prince George's County that you feed. So So you're a collaboration man and you're a numbers man. And so that's one thing, two things I know that you are definitely excellent at. But how, coming from a nonprofit organization where you was out in the community and being a voice, positive voice for the community, how has that helped you now in the delegacy? And we hear that you are the chair for the caucus as well.
Yeah, listen, I think community activists has propelled all of us to be in the role that we're in. Right, because I think Jocelyn said it earlier, you know, how she gives in diapers and Thanksgiving and all of those things. I know all of us have done that. But let me digress for 1 second because I think Jonathan's future is very bright.
Yes, yes, amen.
I think he's going to land on his feet very well. And so those that may be concerned or wondering, don't wonder. He's going to be fine. And when you start talking about 3 strong black women, these are some badass women on the stage.
Bad boss chicks.
And
yeah, that girl power. Go ahead.
And I have had the pleasure to work with all 3 of them individually. And I have seen them kick the door down. And when they're fired up, you don't want to be in their way. So I just wanted to say that. But also, these are some bad men on the stage, too.
Woo-hoo!
So, listen, I think, you know, when you start talking about community activists and giving back to the community, I think it's critically important because they are the ones that you all want to serve, right? So you must understand your community. You must understand the needs. You must understand the demographics because that only propels you to be the best representative that you possibly can be. Right, in my position as delegate, I must understand the differences between Upper Marlboro and District Heights, right? Mm-hmm. And I must understand the demographics between Temple Hills and Fort Washington. So you have to understand your community, their needs, their wants, their dreams, and their desires, right? So when you start talking about bringing back resources and money and all of those things, you must understand the relationship with your county council members. Mm-hmm. You must understand which one can push, which ones cannot. And all of those things help build a team of efficiency that then brings back the deliverance that we all want to see. You must understand the role of the comptroller to understand where the money is and how the money is being spent. You must understand public safety to understand mental health, right? So all of those things, all of us work together in to ensure that when you start looking at Prince George's County, and we being the best county in the damn world, that we have some of the sharpest individuals in the world and some of the brightest individuals in the world. When you start looking at any other state in the union, everything comes back to Prince George's County. Everything. When you start looking at representation, when you start looking at public health, when you start looking at public safety, when you start looking at education, but more importantly, when you start looking at the leadership. It's the leadership that you want that's representative on the highest stage possible. And any of these individuals, I feel more than confident that they can stand on the microphone and they can go toe-to-toe with any representative in the state.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, 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 yes. And that was the question, actually, Daryl. Thank you for that. The question that we had. Everybody was like, Karen, what do a controller do? What is a controller? So why not best ask you? You're running for controller. And, you know, and really break it down to us because coming from being a mayor of Bowie, now going to a statewide race and the controller, can you explain to all of us exactly what does a controller do?
I appreciate that question. And, again, it goes back to being appreciative of being up here with all of you. I have to take a step back because, you know, we talk about these strong women and the leadership roles, but that's because you've made good choices in making sure that you've chosen those who have the experience and the ability to lead. You see, we can't get caught up in race and gender as being a definer. but it's about what people are willing to commit and have committed and have the experience and the talent to do. You know, so I applaud these three women because they have all the qualities of leadership that has nothing to do with gender, but with what they've been blessed with and willing to give to our community. So that's what makes them so strong. You know, and it goes the same with these gentlemen up here as well. And so going back to talking about comptroller, it's the chief fiscal officer of the state of Maryland. What that means is that's the person who's the paymaster. You know, that's the person who has to make sure that all the state employees get paid, all the vendors get paid. You know, sometimes we try to oversimplify it, and people say the comptroller, oh, that's collecting taxes. No, that's collecting all revenue to the state of Maryland. But we're talking about so much more. It's about being that watchdog of watching the agencies and how they spend your money. But you see, you have to know what you're looking for there. You have to have that experience. You know, not only do you have to watch where they're spending those dollars, but you've got to be willing to step in and audit them and hold them accountable. You know, one of the things, I say that because it's important that we understand that we've had a lot, let's be candid, positive going on in our comptroller's office. You know, but I'm running because I bring a new and unique skill set to continue that process. You see, when it comes to businesses and equity and inclusion, you know, I'm so glad that we're all talking about that now. Because that's something that we need to make sure that everyone understands. And that Board of Public Works, you know, the comptroller just has one vote. But it's about being able to understand and put in place those things along the way that help. That you got to be able to understand what it is and how do you help build small businesses. You know, the Board of Public Works, we see how contracts are written, and they're written to exclude a lot of us. You know, I've been doing this for over 3 decades. You know, that's what I keep telling people. I have 30 years of business and government executive leadership. And that's what we need in the comptroller. You know, you can't be the chief fiscal officer of the state and have never seen or run a business. You know, you have to understand the games that are played to keep us out of it. And I think everybody up here will admit that they've seen that, they've heard that, and they know what we've got to do. The comptroller is an opportunity for us to make sure with those bond bills, all those things that our legislators fight for, somebody's got to implement it. Somebody's got to help put that in place. And somebody's got to have the knowledge to do that. So as comptroller, remember, it's not just about collecting taxes. It's about forecasting how much money our legislature has to spend, forecasting how much debt we can take on, and maintaining our AAA bond rating. It's so many things that I, as a businessman for over 30 years, have seen. And I'll give you one last thing, because I know we got to be fair with time, is understand, when I wake up every day, I'm so proud. Hundreds and hundreds of men and women all across this country put on my SATEC badge and go out and do national defense and national security. I have people working out of 23 different states and teams all around the world. The comptroller's office is a large bureaucracy. They've got over 1,200 employees and 12 different offices and all. You need to know how to manage a large organization. You can't just say, I'll be able to do it from day one. You need to have the experience. And that's what the comptroller does. He's your watchdog. He's the one who makes sure that people are accountable for how they spend your money.
All right. Tim, we're going to roll with you. I love that commercial. Okay, so we are at the point now. I'm making a plea to our viewers and to our studio audience. You've been so lovely, studio audience. Now, here's the plea, and here's the challenge. I am pleading and challenging you to get involved. They need volunteers. They need your vote. They need your voice. They need you to now go and spread the word. And we're going to go, and I really do want to go into the audience questions now. And viewers, you can type in your questions, and we'll get to them as well. But I'm going to put you on the spot, because you all kind of me carrying this and that and that. Don't ask me today, because they here. You can ask them today. You can ask them. So what I need you to do to ask, and not only that, because I'm going to tell you, if after this, if you don't ask and get involved, then you cannot sit around and complain. You cannot complain. You cannot say anything if you're not getting involved. And that's just true. Let your vote be your voice. That's how we do it around here. And my studio audience, I need you to take yard signs home. I need you to sign up on their campaign because they need volunteers. They never have enough volunteers. Tell a friend. Who in your top 5? Do you remember that commercial? Now we're going to make a top 5 of calling our friends, telling 5, even if nothing else, 5 people right now that you are at a place and you're here with some wonderful people, and this is who you need to know and vote for. Okay? So now I'm putting it. Y'all asked for me to do this. Now I'm asking you all to do something. So all right. So it's time for our studio audience questions as well. And Barbara had the very first one. And then Barbara, you're gonna help me get all the questions. And first, let me just recognize we have a few other candidates that's in the audience that's running. Can you please stand up? Yes. All right. Just real quick, I'm going to come to you and just say your name and what office that you're running for.
Remy Duyele, candidate District 23.
Belinda Queen, County Council for the seat that Jonathan Matlock is just keeping warm for me.
Gotta love it. Yes. Okay. First studio question. Yes.
The first question that we had that came in earlier, and this is going to be to the county council and the ex-mayor of District Heights. There is information circling in Prince George's County about Adopt a Neighborhood in District Heights and Bowie. Could anyone elaborate on these projects or give clarity of the business, which is called Rip Urban, no pun intended, that's soliciting churches, nonprofits, and seniors for funds to participate?
I absolutely know nothing about it. If you have someone name or number after this we'll look into it, but I don't have any information on it.
Also, I don't have any information on those particular businesses that are soliciting, but we need to know what's happening. So if we can get that information after this meeting, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Work with the state's attorney or something that we need to bring.
If it's fraudulent, yeah.
Yes, definitely. I want to say that personally, I know of $500 has been collected for nonprofit organizations saying that they need to be a part of the Adopt a Neighborhood in District Heights and Bowie, and they asking for $129 for businesses. So we definitely, I definitely want that question to be addressed and on the floor today, because they getting money. They're going out to our churches, our seniors, and our nonprofit organization.
Yeah,
Yes.
We definitely need that.
Thank you. We would definitely do that at the end. We'll get more involved. So thank you for that question. Yes, and we have you have enough. Okay. Yes. Okay. Another audience question? Yes.
From a comptroller point of view. Oh, they didn't write their name. I'm sorry. Okay. From a comptroller point of view, what is going on in Maryland that needs to be fixed, and how would you make it better?
I think one of the major things that we need to look at is how is it that with our MBE goals at 29%, let's that we hit 14, but I think Chairman Barnes will back me up in saying I think when it comes to black businesses, we're only at about 4 or 5%, and we're talking about billions of dollars. One of the things I need that needs to be, and I use the term fixed, is that we have state agencies that are working very hard to get around the Board of Public Works and get around being held accountable for our minority participation. And I think that's where the key will be. We need to make sure, and one of the things I've said within my first 100 days is to go in and audit those agencies and to publish so that everybody knows what kind of participation the contracts that are coming out of those agencies hold. I think that's a big part of it. I think you need to understand I'm fortunate enough to have fought those battles all across this country, legally and just as a business. And what I mean by that is people trying to get around meeting the minority procurement participation levels and goals. And that's something key. So we can audit that, we can look at that, but we also have to look at how the contracts are being written. Understand I've been dealing with contracts for 30 years. And I'm sorry if it's going a little long, but it's so important that we understand. We got way too many sole source contracts, way too many single source. We got way too many, what I call retroactive contract, where the agency says, oh, it's an emergency and award it before the Board of Public Works ever look at it. And then the Board of Public Works, the comptroller and others don't even get a chance to stop it. And they have nobody who look like us. It's time we stop accepting, from some of these agencies. And from my perspective, I fought it, I understand it, I know what it looks like. We've got to make sure they stop saying they can't find us. And that's a big key. Yes. We're here and we're ready to do business.
Yes. Yes. You have another question?
This question is on June 28th. I will be homeless myself, husband and 3 grands. I took care of my mother-in-law for 16 years. This house has been in the family for over 40 years. Now a reverse mortgage that we're in says that we have to go. So where? And we need help.
Do we know where they can at least try to get help from, or anyone we can answer the question of? Yes.
My chief of staff. It's Edith Perry. Will you get up for a second? It's my right hand, who I love dearly, has been with me for 10 years or so. She actually lives in Bowie, and she does a lot of my constituency work. So will you connect with her when we're done so that she can start making calls for you, whether it's at the state level or social services, some nonprofits, legal aid? She can explore all of that to be able to assist you, okay?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Also, if my person, James Rogers, can get that information, we'll work with our housing officer before we leave and work with Mr. Matlock to make certain that whatever we can do at the council and the county level, we'll get involved. But also, and I'm sure the delegate will as well, I will report back to you the outcome so you'll know what was the outcome as a result of all of our involvement.
Yes.
May I ask you something with your staff in mind? Just work collaborative. If you could talk, Edith, will you please talk to the chairman's chief of staff. Will you get up, please, so she can see you? And I'd like both of you, if you could work on this case, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. They're on it already. Thank you. They're working it out already. They're speaking with the one involved now. But we want to make sure that, and Chair Hawkins said it best, that we want to make sure we reach out to housing and see what we can do on this level, depending on where she is. I'm very familiar with the church that this person attends, so I want to make sure that we do the work that has to be done. So thank you for that question.
But I want to chime in as well, and I'm glad that everybody is helping, but I also want to make sure that if you guys could reach out to rather myself or so, as we are responsible for actually going out and doing that. What we have been trying to do is, one, communicate with social services, housing, everybody, so that we can try to make sure that that person is not removed and has nowhere else to go. So we're the ones who actually would have a date of when, this is supposed to happen. We're the ones who's actually supposed to try to come up with some sort of solutions and working with, the owners and everybody to make sure that everybody's made whole again. So if you give us and contact us, we'll make sure that, hey, everything is, and everybody's informed, and that we're able to make sure that we take care of her or him and make sure that we're able to make everybody whole again.
Absolutely. Well, that's it.
I just want to say that's awesome, and I already know where I'm going to volunteer because I've been working in mortgage financing for years, and I know a lot about reverse mortgages. So I'm volunteering so we can help her and help others like her. I have another, I don't know if it's the last question, but I have another question. We are pastors from Higher Praise Christian Church, and we want to know, what can we do to help support your endeavors? And we are in the need of help to continue keeping the doors open due to the struggle of the pandemic.
Yeah, I'll try to address that.
Yeah.
A couple things. Because the pandemic has so greatly defined the last 2+ years, that's really been the focus of governing on the county council level and certainly on the state level. What Peter Franchot and I have proposed in our agenda, portion of that has to do with housing, because we believe that housing is definitely one of the pathways to wealth building. And that's with state-backed mortgages. Obviously, that's not in place yet. Once we get into office, we'll be able to do that so that we don't have people losing wealth by losing their homes. So I just want to deal with that. The other question that you had, which I think I'm forgetting, what was the initial question that you had? Churches, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
With nonprofits, we recognize that nonprofits were tremendous partners in helping. I know with District 8, we partnered to pass food out. We partnered to help people connect with housing. We partnered. On the state level, Peter and I realized that the government is not capable of a lot, just because we don't have the capacity, nor have we done it. It would take too much of a build-up to do it. So what we're desiring to do is use a portion of the $7.5 billion surplus that exists to give to nonprofits so that they can continue the work that they've been doing in the community. Nonprofits including our houses of praise, because many of them are frontline for food, frontline for emergency care, and that to us is a thoughtful way of helping people in immediate situations.
Yes. And yes. This has really been great, and I am strictly on time and been just want to be patient of their time as well. So I want to thank my esteemed panelists for coming out, and we're going to go around, and I want to ask, because everybody who know me know I'm that lovey, goofy kind of girl. So I'm putting you all on the spot. Okay, tell us something personal about you that we can laugh and have fun about. We have asked all the questions, and I'm going to see who's going to do it first. We have all asked all the serious questions, but tell us something about you that we may not know, or something that you like to do, outside of the work that you do. And of course I'm starting with you first, Cal. But I actually have a two-part for you, Cal. If you can answer this one and then tell us a fun side of you. the question was sent to me that they wanted to know from you, because you have been a person that's out in the community, and you come from humble beginnings, and you stepped out here and you said, I'm going to run for county council at large. And your first time as a candidate, you got that office seat. So what can you tell a new candidate that's just running for office for the first time? And then after that, you better give me one of your funny stories.
I often tell individuals who are aspiring to serve in public office through the elected process, it's not so much the endorsements you receive, but the support of the citizenry that will make the difference. If you touch the people, then they will support you.
Yes.
And it's just that simple. For me, it wasn't a matter of asking if I should run. It was a matter of determining when. I wasn't interested in running for office, but it was an elected official at the time. We were in Las Vegas, and the elected official said to me, and I was only doing my job, nothing to be disrespectful or anything. The elected official said, you think you Wayne Carey. Wayne Carey is dead. If you want to run and do something, run for office. If you want to have power, run for office. And it wasn't that the person said you should run for office. It was the fact that my mentor had been dead for quite some time. And in the midst of a public setting with others listening, many of them were not from Prince George's County. So when that person said that, it propelled me from the back of the bus to the front of the bus.
Amen.
I said, I'm not going to ask, I'm not going to even tell you. And I told that person, we have a date with destiny. In 2018, that destiny arrived, and I was victorious. But what I want to say about it is, and being as humble as I can, for all those individuals out there running for office, when you see Calvin Hawkins, I'm an inspiration to you, because even the president of the Senate, Mike Miller, rest his soul, told me I could never be a council member until the machine wanted me there. But I could be a central committee member, because he would tell whoever the senator was to put me on that ticket. I said, no, Mr. President, you have intent on preventing me from running, and I have a commitment to the citizens of Prince George's County to run, and that's what I'll do. So when I see the Belinda Queens and the Remy's out there running, when others are saying, what you're doing, they are touching the people, and hopefully at the end of the day, those who touch the people will win what they're doing, because they've already won, because they're doing what they're doing. But to answer your question, what's quirky about me, 3:30 in the morning for three nights out of the week, I'm up building model cars.
Oh.
I just build model cars, and I have a whole basement full of them, and I give them to kids as I go out and see them. It takes my mind, since I can't sleep, I make model cars.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. Yes, thank you.
That's not quirky, but
Yeah, I get you. You went for the heartfelt. I'm not mad at you, So that was a good one. Thank you for sharing. John, the pressure is on.
It's not pressure. I'm trying to figure out something. So, I mean.
Or just anything about you personally that you would like to share with us.
I can share a whole lot, as I like to consider myself more of an open book.
Right.
But I would say one of my things that I do when I am off, I do love to watch like Western movies and stuff like that. And I'm I'm a movie buff. I say that much. But I guess something personal I can say is, I know I have my wife here in the audience, but I have identical twin girls that are 11, and I have a 13-year-old son. So that is like my heart and joy as as I move through anything. And, they are very big into sports. So I've coached, track, football, basketball. So I am very engaged in our youth. But I guess when you talk about quirky, it is trying to plan and map out for them, here's what your routine needs to be. Here's what you need to be eating. Here's what you need to do this. And the kids basically, they go their own way and they do what they want to do. So that is probably the biggest, quirkiest thing about me right now is really trying to just really engage and deal with them. And Dad, and I get no love. So on this Father's Day coming up, please, for all the fathers, I thank you. And, all I can say is I appreciate them, and they've helped me grow. So.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers in here.
Yes, yes, yes.
Something personal about me. I am, as you look at me, I am a Black Latina. That means that the color I have, I don't get by going to the beach. It came from slavery in the islands. That I can fight very hard for both communities without compromising the other. And that is what I have done. Something fun for the last it's not fun, but for the last 6 years, I was telling Monique, my husband and I have been paying 3 college tuitions. And our kids just graduated, 2 from Maryland and 1 from Yale.
Yay!
And they graduated without student loans, so I tell them I drive a car with 222,000 miles so that we could do that. And I love to watch AGTV. I'm addicted. I dream of moving someday to another country. And I love decorating. Thank you so much. It's been fun.
Yes. Oh. Yes. Aisha.
Okay. So personal about me, similar to Jocelyn, my family, my father is from Grenada, so I am Caribbean. But more recently, I did my DNA test and found out that I was 52.6% Nigerian. but I honestly felt, when I found out, I really felt more of myself. Like I felt like I finally understood who I was. I felt connected to a history. It is amazing. And hopefully after this cycle, I get to go and visit my home country and meet brothers and sisters who look like me, and I'm really excited about that. So quirky, I am a super fan of so many people, but my crush now is Ketanji Brown Jackson, and I last week, I actually got to meet her in person, sit down with her. I had written a poem just randomly, and I think, Mr. Chairman, you'd heard it a couple times, and I was able to present that poem in a frame with pictures on it to her, and it was the joy, of my day. But the other funny thing was I didn't know who else would be there, and I'm sitting down sipping coffee, and next thing I see, it's Felicia Rashad walking in, and I'm like... So yeah, I'm a little bit quirky, but I was fangirling that day.
Yes. All right. Okay.
You know what? I'm kind of like you. It's like what a lot of me is quirky. I don't know where to begin, but I'll say this: at this point in my life, at 51, I just recognize every day is such a blessing.
Yes.
And
amen.
I have, through COVID, really gotten into playing in the dirt again every day. I garden.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that is so cathartic. You're by yourself, you're thinking, there's something about earth and dirt. I don't know what it is, but it's very soothing. But yeah, maybe that's what it is. This is home, getting back to the beginnings. But I think a lot of my focus really is getting back to nature and getting us back to nature. The calming, soothing, mentally clarifying impact. I know it sounds odd, but you said quirky. This is me.
No.
And even in some of the movements that I made on the council with let's preserve tree canopy. There's so much, once you give up, you can't get back. Mm-hmm. And that connection, I think, is so critical. So I guess that's my little quirky thing.
Oh no,
Thank you.
that's fine. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. And that, for those who don't know, I'm from Savannah, from the South Georgia, and that thing you're talking about is called earthing, right? And when you walk around with no shoes on, and
That would be me.
and you connect back, and it aligns your chakras, right? So that is a beautiful thing, and to get back to, I am quirky. I am quirky. I may seem very serious all the time, but I am an actor. I've acted in a few movies made for Netflix. Look me up, IMBD. Jonathan Medlock. So I've done that for a while to just to get my mind away from the seriousness of life sometimes, just to be something else and somewhere else at a point in time. I have 2 sons. One of my sons, my oldest son, Christian, and my youngest son, Messiah. Christian received a scholarship at Naval Academy, and Messiah just graduated 2 days ago from high school. So I'm happy. I'm happy about that, and I am looking forward to just I don't know, just doing more quirky things. I'm a movie buff. So we can talk about movies all day, John. So I enjoy that too. So I am, last thing, astrology geek. So and so anyway, we could talk. Daryl, so you.
You know, I really want to go back and make a point or reference to what Calvin said. And mine is really centered around this upcoming election, because all of us are friends.
Yes.
And when you're running for office, sometimes it makes it difficult, because, you know, one thing a reporter came to me and said, why aren't you supporting another candidate? And one thing I've always said is that I will not disparage another man, and especially a black man. And we may all have differences, but it's how you handle those differences. Because at the end of the day, I think we're all wanting the same thing. We all want the same thing. And to me, it's how you handle those things really dictates your character and what you do. So I just wanted to say that, because I think, you know, listen, I think all of us on this stage may be supporting someone different. But it's how you handle that, and all of us up here are friends. Regardless who wins this election, we're all got to work with each other. So it's how you handle those things and how you handle adversity, which makes you stronger. And I respect everyone here. I just want us to always be cordial and respectful to the process. My quirky thing is that, you know, listen, I went to High
know
Point
you a
High
baller.
School. I went to High Point High School. And I've always said my claim to fame is, in 1982, we beat Northwestern for the state championship. And who went to Northwestern? Len Bias, right?
Yes.
So if you know sports and basketball,
Yes.
Darryl Barnes was a bad dude.
I like that one, Daryl. Yes.
Oh, really? I get to go last, right? After all of this, I get to do it. Well, Remy, I can't say that my DNA test came back exactly the same. You know, look, I have a quirky, a unique sense of humor.
Okay.
You know, and for those who know me, I have a set of twins. My daughter is here, Kayla, and my son, Tim Jr. But I always have to mention my daughter, Tiara. Now, right now, I miss her even more than ever, because she was always on the campaign trail with me. Y'all hold up, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But she left me a grandson. You know, and people have heard me talk about that, because I say, when I look at that little beautiful brown baby boy, I understand what my life's mission is about. You know, because tomorrow's Father's Day. And my grandson is fortunate that he has me and his aunt and his uncle and my wife and family. But there are so many little brown baby boys and girls who don't have anybody to watch out for them. And you see, that's why I commend what all of you are doing and what I'm trying to do.
Which you are doing.
Is we've got to continue to make it that we clear a path for them. You know, as Darryl talked about that excellence, that they get a chance to have those moments in their lives, that they have a chance to create and be whatever they choose to be.
Yes.
And that's what's really important, you know, craving that way. And I'll let you know my real quirky side is I like to tell jokes. I try to be a joke, and I'm not good at it. And I'm not good at it. True story. And I'll wrap this up. But true story. I went to see my twins who were at Duke Ellington at the time, and we were doing, you know, parent-teacher things and all. And I was in one of the classrooms, and I looked up, and on the classroom board was a sign that said, "Tim's dad's dumb jokes." Did you know that? They were putting them up on the board. They were sharing with you, and they had a board there. Now, but I'll tell you one of my favorite jokes, and I'll let you go on that.
Yeah, okay.
All right, and this is why I get in trouble. What do you call a camel with no hump? Humphrey.
Humphrey.
And that's what gets me in trouble.
All right. Okay. Yes.
And so it is.
Yes. All right. In closing, guys, I would like to just say, I'm going to tell you one thing that you left out. You like rolling in your buggy. We're going to roll with you until it's over with. But after that, I'm going to give you a speeding ticket. Yes. But guys, what Vision and Purpose would like to offer to all you all for being our special guests, if you have commercials, we want to air your commercial, because Tim, I know you gave us yours, and we're going to air your commercial for free between now until July the 19th. So whoever I need to get in touch with, please let me know from your office. Send me your commercial, and we're going to air them from now until July the 19th. I want a yard sign from each and every one of you. Whoever I need to get in contact with, I know you probably have them with you today because I asked to bring them. I would like to get a yard sign from each and every one of you right now today. And then the last thing, I just want to just say, Vision and Purpose Media Production, we are about being a positive voice for our community. If you have a story that we need to be told, we had the state's attorney on the front cover of our magazine, and we had this Delegate Jocelyn was in the very first magazine under political awareness. As you see, our lovely magazines here. So guys, we need the community. We need you to get involved. And also, we need sponsors. So if you all want to sponsor an ad, we have 5 slots left that's coming out for our July edition. We would love for you all to run that ad space. We have a beautiful story, will be our front cover. This is Overseer, stand up, Overseer D. And she's from District Heights, Maryland. And I would love to tell her story coming from humble beginnings. And we have to tell stories like this. This encouragement. Now she's an overseer, a pastor of her church, have her own church and a bus that she shelter people around, 45-seat bus. And we need to have stories like this to be told. So thank you for entrusting your story with our Vision and Purpose. And we look forward to it coming out very soon. In 3 more weeks, your magazine will be out. All right. We need ad sponsors. Yes, yes. So thank you. So in closing, the floor. Everyone go around, give me your closing statement, what you want us to know, what you want us to say in closing, how can we get involved, what do you need us to do?
Hi, again, my name is Calvin Hawkins. I'm running for re-election as one of your county council members at large. You can support me by sharing the word that if you want someone on the council, along with the other 10 members that will be there, that will not forget about why we there. I'm going to make some mistakes along the way, but you're not going to have a council member more committed to advancing the possibilities of Prince George's County than Calvin Hawkins. I have to be the conscience of the council now that Monique Anderson Walker is no longer there with us. But on a serious note, I look forward to an opportunity to serve you for the next 4 years if your vote will support my re-election efforts. Thank you very much, and lastly, I hope over the years, the work I've done, even when I've fallen short, you know my heart is for what's best for Prince George's County, and I will keep fighting for Prince George's County. From the humble beginnings you spoke about, the ancestors are watching me to ensure I continue to leave footprints in the sand for those who didn't have the opportunity that Calvin Hawkins had.
Yes. And Calvin, I'm going to say this. The community said you won your election, but you have not stopped working. They see you everywhere in this community. So keep up the good work.
And we are able to do what we do. I want to make this clear. Darrell Bonds said something about me, but we're working now on the county council to do some stuff to talk about equity. But it's because Darrell Bonds, even before our great speaker brought up her black agenda, this man was fighting when no one else was fighting. And we just want you all to know, and with what everyone's doing, Aisha Brave Boy, you all give us power on the council to say enough excuses about why we can't have black empowerment in Prince George's County. And as the county council, we're going to make that happen. If you look at this $5 billion budget, you will see it is a step in the right direction.
I am John Carr, and again, I'm running to serve you as your next sheriff for Prince George's County. I've had the opportunity of serving at this agency for 20 years. Currently, right now, again, I run our Bureau of Field Operations. I've actually ran the agency during this COVID-19 pandemic, and one thing I've noticed is that people are hurting. People are truly hurting. So when we hear stories about people losing their homes or people being displaced, when we talk about people who are losing loved ones, who are dealing with mental health issues, these are the things that I've been focusing on for these past 2 years, and I've worked my way up through the agency and have been in this community for all of my life. And one thing I want to do is continue to serve. I want to continue to build on the legacy. I want to make sure that when we talk about issues and social issues and problems that we have here in the county, that we actually work together. And one thing I think you saw here today is you see many of the elected officials here in different roles and responsibilities all talk about partnerships. This is what you need. When we talk about law enforcement reform, look at what you see right before you. This is something that in Prince George's County you never would have thought you would have saw as a young African-American male running an organization. That is something that you have never seen before. And this is a county that I can only say that I'm where I am is because of people like this on this panel. And I understand that. I truly understand that. And that is why I am running, is to really build on this legacy that we have in place. And experience does matter. And I am the only experienced candidate in our race, being that I'm the only one who's worked in the sheriff's office, the only one who's actually partnered with elected officials and other law enforcement agencies. We don't have time to learn on the job. Now it's time for us to hit the ground running and to really serve our citizens and to give our citizens a chance to be a part of public safety. We serve you, and I want to make sure that is the underlining tone. We serve our community. You will not see us just in the bad times. You'll see us in the good times. You'll see us each and every day. You'll be able to talk to us and understand exactly what we do. We serve you. So thank you.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
Thank you, and thank you so much, Karen, for everything you do. You know, I love you so much, and I don't hesitate when you call to say, yes, let's meet, because your heart is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I want to thank you all for coming, and for all my colleagues, you know, good luck in your races. And if God blesses you with serving, I hope you can call me, and that regardless of life or who I was with or you were with, I believe what Daryl said. This is all about relationships. It's not, it's all about relationships, right? But my word is my bond. So I will work with you, and I will be present, and I will give it my absolute best. I want to say that, you can't be what you can't see. And I really feel that it's important when we're in a room to speak up. For me, I speak up. I represent everyone, and I represent everyone with my heart. It doesn't matter who you look or who you are. But I am a Black Latina. So when I'm in the room, I am going to speak up for those communities. Because those communities in Prince George's, you have, it's a Black county, but you also have almost 40% of the public school system is Latino. So I bring a unique experience, that no one else will bring. And I have to share it. When we're in a room, we have to put on an equity lens, and we have to say who's not in the room, all right? Who's not in the room, whose voice is missing as we make policies, because the policies affect everyone, right? Like your fingers in your hands, they're all not the same, right? That's how people are, but we need to work together, as Daryl says. As someone that is very, very blessed and grateful to God for allowing me from the beginnings that I come from, that little girl in the islands who's the first in my family to go to college. My mom I don't think she even studied to the 3rd grade. And I grew up without a father. But my mom will always say, when I die, I'm not going to leave you anything, but you're going to get an education. So I was on welfare with my mom. I know what it's like to get Medicaid. I know what it's like to be on food stamps. I know what it's like to be in college and not have 25 cents in my name. But those experiences make who you are, and you work hard, to open doors for others. So as you vote, please do your homework. Vote for people that represent your values, that are really, truly going to care about us, because that's what matters. And your vote is your voice. Don't take it for granted. All right? Thank you so much for being here.
Yes. Thank you. I told you, my firecracker.
That's a hard act to follow. So I'm going to do my best. But, one thing I want to say, and I am very grateful to have the role that I have in this county, but I could not do the job that I do without my faith in God.
Amen.
I can tell you that I am grateful that my God is a God of second, third, fourth, and fifth, and so on chances, because honestly, none of us deserve all that we have, right? But when we have been given just that grace, that mercy, it is our job to pass it on. And so in my role, I've been able to help victims achieve justice, and I've also been able to help individuals who have been convicted of very serious offenses get second chances too. Because what I understand is that the scales of justice must be balanced. And you can't lean one way too much or another way too much, because that's what leads to mass incarceration. That's what leads to hopelessness. And for more than anything, being state's attorney is about building hope in everyone's communities so that they turn away from a life of crime and focus on a positive future. And so I just want to leave you with this. We're in a campaign. We're in a voting season, right? But we're also in a season where we are watching. We are watching the January 6th hearings. We're watching how our fragile democracy was almost overtaken by insurrectionists, people who hit back against the notion that Black people can determine the outcome of an election. That's what that was about. And on this Juneteenth holiday,
yes,
as we celebrate our freedom, to exercise our rights as Americans, including the right to a free and fair election to which we get to participate in, we have to continue to participate and never let anyone take away our rights. Because that is what those individuals are trying to do. But you know what? With folks like the folks up here, that's not going to happen. With folks like you out there, that will never happen. But we have to be vigilant because the other side is scared of us. They're scared of our immigrant community. You know, they're scared of women. They're scared of the LGBTQIA plus community. They're scared of everyone who does not think like them.
Amen.
But guess what? There are so many voices out here in our community that need to be heard, and it is our job to protect everyone's voice. So thank you again, Vision and Purpose. This was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to follow that. I want to thank you, Karen.
You all been doing well.
I want to thank you in Vision and Purpose and for you
Thank
all
you.
for being here, for understanding how important it is to participate. The power is yours. We work for you, and we don't get it twisted. I don't consider myself a politician. I'm in politics. I'm a public servant, and I serve. But listen, ultimately, my life is about leave things better than you found it. My father's former military, and my mother an educator. And there wasn't a situation that I was in. They said, leave that situation better than you found it. And if it's not better, then it's your fault. So I put a lot of it, and many of us put it on us. We're not going to be skirting issues. We recognize these days are very unique. They're challenging. And our desire is to be truly transformative. And to do that, one has to be intentional. It is very intentional that we've gotten to this point, where this county that is the top 4% in median income in the nation, somehow the narrative has gotten us thinking we're less than. Mm-hmm. Somehow the resources that we deserve don't come into our communities. Somehow the businesses and the contract opportunities do not reflect the population. That's intentional. So it's going to take someone with some acumen and who gives a damn to be in a position to make that change. And I look forward to serving as your next Lieutenant Governor, along with Peter Franchot.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to Vision and Purpose for allowing me to be on this panel. Thank you to the audience who have been paying attention to every single word that we have said. One of the things I've known and understand all my life is that spirits don't lie. People confuse you or can confuse you, but the spirit that this panel have, the spirit that people, if you've worked with me, if you've seen me do the work in the community, you've known my spirit. And my spirit has led me to this position where I am and what I'm doing, because understand something very clearly. I focus keenly on the youth in the community and just our mental health and well-being, because I understand that a child will burn down the village just to feel its warmth. And we have to understand that we have to really gather around our people, our community members, our young and our old, because we have to move a thing progressively forward. I started my life in organizing with the National Black United Front. I can say this now because we've come so far. With my first campaign, Red, Black, and Green, fist in the air, singing Black Power, Ungawa, Black Power. I can say that now confidently on the eve of Juneteenth, in a time of celebration, Black Power, forever. I'm a Garveyite. All my life, understanding what we need to do and how we need to coalesce on this stage first, then we'll take it back to Africa. But we will continue to move progressively forward, continue to support me in whatever that endeavor is, because you understand and know that I'm doing it from my heart and from my spirit, and my spirit will propel me. There is nothing that can stop you. There's nothing, even though the time is flying, I am the pilot. I will absolutely stay steadfast in this journey, continue to support me. That's what I ask of you, and never let me go. Thank you.
Daryl, you sound like you was impressed with that one.
Listen, we all come from humble beginnings. I often tell the story that I was born in Southeast Washington, D.C. and used to live in Compton, California. So I tell the story, I went from the frying pan to the oven. But just like most, my father felt it important enough for us to get out of the hood of Southeast Washington, D.C., and we were like the Jeffersons. We thought we were moving on up and came to Prince George's County. Listen, and Jocelyn knows, I have stood in the middle of the Democratic caucus floor and said that I am unapologetically black. When it comes to our issues, I am that voice. I've said as long as I am chairman of the Maryland Legislative Black Caucus, I want to be the Maynard Jackson of Maryland, where I want to create more black millionaires than anywhere else, because I am in a position of influence. Think about that. When Tim talked about the procurement opportunities, the state of Maryland procures $1 billion annually. $1 billion. And out of that $1 billion, we have a 29% MBE goal. And out of that 29%, we're only hitting 14%. And out of that 14%, only 3 to 5% is going to black folks. The Department of Commerce did 1% last year. So you start talking about equity and inclusion, we are left way out of the equation. I am so thankful for Jocelyn because she gives me that sense of reason, and it's her and my other colleagues that have empowered me to be able to stand up and be bold and courageous and demand certain things that impacts our community.
Amen.
It is people like Aisha Brave Boy that came before me who now says, stand on my shoulders and do what you do. It is people like Calvin Hawkins that I have a partner on the county council who says, tell me how can I help? And working with his colleague, Mel Franklin, who I've said, we need to now ensure that black folks get paid on time with procurement opportunity, that we're passing a bill that says if you're doing business in the state of Maryland, you should get paid in 15 days or less. Those are the things that we can do collectively because we can work together. That's the power, right? Don't be fooled by and be hoodwinked and bamboozled any longer by the rhetoric, but you must look at the people that are looking to serve you and not serve themselves.
Yes, amen.
Listen, I ask for your vote. I ask for your support. And knowing that I am going to work extremely hard, I love what I do too. I wake up every morning figuring out how can I be different? How can I make a difference? How can I make an impact? How can I call on my colleagues? And what can we do collectively to make a difference within our county? At the end of the day, I have two young boys, 16 and 17. And it's all about leaving a legacy for them. It's not about me anymore. I'm good. But how can I leave a legacy for them so when it's story time at school for them, I want them to be able to say, and these kids say, well, my daddy did this. And I want them to say, well, my daddy was the one that championed to ensure the HBCU bill got passed, and now we're up here. It was my daddy that was a part of the team that says every woman should have equal pay as a man. It's my daddy that stood on the floor and said, damn it, we want to make sure that we have our right to vote. That's the difference that I want to make. And that's the person that I hope that you want to represent you in Annapolis. Thank you.
All right. Woo! We bringing it big.
Gee, thank you, Darryl. Hey, but everything you said, and I appreciate, and I don't mean this calling you out, but I appreciate all you've done and also the conversations we've had. You see, we're in a position when Darryl talks about going on that floor and talking about opportunities, we are in a unique position to make it happen. When we talk about procurement and opportunities for those who look like us sitting up here and in this room, we have an opportunity to make it happen. You know, Darryl touched on something, and it's true. All of us come from humble beginnings. You know, I grew up in poverty. You know, my daughter is sitting right there and can tell you there's a certain brand of cheese I like. And they always say, why you do that? I said, because it tastes like the government cheese I grew up on. And that's real. And I also tell people I realize how fortunate and blessed I was, because we even got peanut butter. You know, the big tub. But, you know, the reality of this is, you know, you have to understand. We can set the destiny for all of those coming behind us in this particular election. And we may not get that chance again in our lifetime.
Amen.
It's that real. Now, I need to say to you that there are those who have criticized me, for those who don't know, because I put up a lot of my own money behind this campaign. But understand, the reason I did that is because for us, we don't have those donor lists that go back decades for what mom and dad did. We don't have those extremely rich friends who can talk to their rich friends and bring it. We got to bring it on our own. Now, you got to understand, I talked to my children about this. I said, are you okay with me investing that generational wealth that I've created for you and investing it for those who look like you coming behind you? And my children said, Dad, do it and give it everything you got. And that's why I'm doing this. You know, I've been so blessed in my life. I tell people I was blessed when I had my accident and I end up in a wheelchair, and a lot of people look at you and say, what the world? But you know what? I am a man of faith, and I'm not ashamed of that. And you see, I thought I understood what it was to be disabled. But then God blessed me to have this happen. And you see, now I walk by faith and not by sight. You know, I think about how blessed I've been in my life and being able, and I don't exaggerate when I say helping build black businesses all across this country, of fighting and tearing down those walls, of having court battles, where even on my advisory board they were saying, why are you doing that? And I said, because people did it for me. You know, it's for those coming behind us. See, we can talk about standing on the shoulders of those giants, but I've had to straighten my back and let those coming behind me stand on my shoulders now. Because that's what this is about. This is about all of our future. Because I also want to make sure that, not selfishly, Darryl, but I want them to be able to say, and you know those things that Darryl Barnes fought for and got passed and the opportunities? My daddy made sure it came to some black folk. And I say that only because it's not trying to take something from somebody else. Understand, we're not talking about taking something from somebody else. We're just asking about being treated with the dignity and respect that we get our fair share. Amen. That we get our share of our own tax dollar. So the last thing I'll leave you with is a quote from somebody I love dearly, and I've respected, and who, when I was growing up and I was coming up, I thought she was the person that said it best, and that was Shirley Chisholm. You see, I'm not part of the political machine, but that gives me the ability to be able to say, I'm unbossed and unbought. So I'm Tim Adams. I'm running for comptroller of the state of Maryland. And I simply say again, Maryland, let's roll.
All right, all right. Well, again, you heard it here first on Vision and Purpose Media Production. Thank you for tuning in, and thank our studio audience, and thank our special guest panelists. We thank you. And again, as I always say, let your vote be your voice. And we see you on July the 19th. But early voting now, July the 7th through the 14th. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, dear.